CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is joining us now with the latest from Washington. Okay, break this down for us, Paula. What are your sources telling us about this plan and this search for lawyers?
Right now, the plan is in its infancy. The first thing they need to do is find a team of lawyers. So here they've sent out a hiring notice looking for anyone willing to work on this particular project. So right now it's in its beta stage.
Now, as I understand it, there was a Supreme Court case. It was Abigail Fisher versus the University of Texas. It wound its way up to the Supreme Court, and I believe she did not win. So how would lawyers be building a case against affirmative action?
Well, with Ms. Fisher specifically, she was arguing, she was a white student applying to University in Texas. She argued that she was at a disadvantage because the universities took race into consideration in their admissions. But the Supreme Court ultimately held that yes, universities, colleges, they can use race as one factor when determining admission. So in order to build a case to prove intentional race-based discrimination, which is the objective of this team, they would have to show that there was a quota or it was used as something more than just one factor in evaluating a candidate.
Interesting. So why do you suppose this issue, because there are many issues, why has this issue made it to the forefront of the Department of Justice?
Well, this will resonate with a lot of Trump and Sessions supporters. This is a theory that has prevailed in a lot of conservative circles. They argue that if someone is getting an advantage because of their race, that someone therefore must be disadvantaged or harmed. So this is something that will resonate with certain people, and it's part of this overall shift within the Civil Rights Department, specifically from the Obama Justice Department to the Sessions Justice Department.
So that's what supporters might be saying. What about critics?
Well, a lot of critics have said, look, there are a lot of issues that you could apply civil rights resources to, specifically police use of force. That is something that was really a priority under the Obama Justice Department with Attorney Generals Holder and Lynch. But here under the Sessions Justice Department, they've really rolled back a lot of their oversight of police use of force. And over the weekend, we even saw a break within their own ranks. The head of the DEA came out and criticized the president for his remarks. They say it was a joke, but his remarks seeming to almost encourage police use of force. So I think a lot of people, the critics, are really questioning the priorities of Attorney General Sessions.
So then where do we go from here? What are the next steps for the Justice Department moving forward?
First of all, they have to find a team of lawyers, and then that team of lawyers is going to have to find plaintiffs. They're going to have to find people who have actually been harmed. That is the most difficult part of getting a case like this working through the courts, is you need to find your quote-unquote victim. So they're going to have to comb through different universities, work with different groups, and try to find someone who can prove their point that certain colleges or universities are actually harming students with their affirmative action policies.
Yeah, and as I recall with the Abigail Fisher case, she might not have been the best victim because her grades were okay, they weren't great, so it was difficult to prove that she was discriminated against.
Exactly. Her case was good enough to make it all the way to the Supreme Court twice, if I recall, but ultimately she was not enough to prevail or to turn. It was a squeaker of a case, but it was not enough to turn the Supreme Court away from allowing universities to use race as one factor in the admissions process.
That's all very interesting. Paula Reid, thanks for explaining it to us.